guys, it's Saul again, and today I'm sharing with you guys my plans for Hispanic Heritage Month. So for those of you who don't know, Hispanic Heritage Month takes place between September 15th and October 15th, and for the last 2 years I've been reading books between that time frame by Hispanic authors. I've been trying to read the majority of them by Hispanic authors. This is the third year that I will be doing this kind of thing on my channel, and I know there are a couple of other booktubers that also do this. I will link their channels down below. I know Marti and Sarai are two booktubers that I also watch that participate in this every year, but these are kind of the books that are sort of on my radar. I don't want to call it officially a TBR just because I've been so overwhelmed with school readings. I don't know how much of these books I'm actually going to be able to read, but hopefully if I can find some of these on audiobook, I will. But these are just kind of 3 books that I've picked that are on my shelf that are kind of on my radar. Hopefully I can get to and squeeze into all of my school readings. Now the first book that I have on my radar is an ARC that I actually got from NetGalley, and that is The Beautiful Ones by Sarai Garcia. I've heard really amazing things about her and her writing style and her books and everything, and this one sounds really interesting. I started reading it and I got through, I think it was the first chapter or so I'm really enjoying her writing style so far, and I know it kind of revolves around these 2 main characters who are both telekinetic, and this man is trying to find this woman because of some connection that they have to each other and their past. And like I said, they're both telekinetic. It seems really interesting. I think it feels like it takes place somewhere in 1800s kind of thing. And yeah, it's got some really cool vibes and a really cool atmosphere so far. So I'm really interested in seeing kind of how this story develops and finally reading something by Sarai Garcia, because like I said, I haven't read anything by her before. I know Marti really loves her books and loves her writing style and everything, so I definitely jumped on the chance to be able to read this one. Hopefully I can read this one before it's released, because I know it releases somewhere in the mid to late October. And I want to be able to get to this book and review it on my channel for you guys before it releases. So this will probably be my priority during Hispanic Heritage Month, and be able to review this one for you guys before it releases in mid to late October. The second book I have on my radar is Cuba 15 by Nancy Osa. This is a book that follows a girl who is going to be turning 15, so they're planning her quinceañera and everything. She's Cuban, she lives in Florida, and her grandmother, I think, is trying to get her to make her quinceañera more of like a traditional Cuban style, and she doesn't really know much of her Cuban heritage. So I think this is going to be a really good book, kind of her learning who she really is, where her traditions came from, and kind of being more connected to her culture. It kind of gives me those vibes that that's kind of what's going to happen at this one. It's a really short book. Hopefully I can get to it. I thought my library had this one on audiobook, but I just recently checked and I can't seem to find it. But if I can find this one on audiobook, I will definitely be able to get to this one, because audiobooks seem to be the only thing that I'm kind of like reading for entertainment outside of like all of this school reading, because during my commute and stuff to work and to school and everything, it's just easier for me to listen to audiobooks. So if I can get this one on audiobook, that would be absolutely amazing. And the last book I have on my radar is Selected Writings by Jose Marti. Jose Marti is a very famous Cuban author from what I've been told. My wife and her family is from Cuba, and they say that they make them read a lot of like Jose Marti selections and poems and short stories and stuff while they're in school there. So this is kind of like a bind up of his like works. There's like an autobiography in here, there's like diary entries, they have like little short stories and poems and stuff of him. So this is a book that I can definitely pick up and just read like small portions of. I don't really have to sit down and read the entire thing. So that's why I'm throwing it in here, because I just feel like whenever I have, a few minutes of free time, I can just kind of read a poem or two, or read like part of his biography or some of the short selections, and I don't really have to go in order, because it's not a novel. It's just like a compilation of like his work and stuff. So I'm throwing it in there because I really want to get to know this author a little bit more, because like I said, he's a very big Cuban author that I feel like, from what I've been told, most Cuban people know who he is and are familiar with his work. So I also want to get familiar with his work. So yeah guys, that is it for my plans for Hispanic Heritage Month. I'm really hoping I can get to these. I'm really hoping that I can kind of at least start most of these books and get to good chunks in these books, at least during this time, because like I said, I've just been super overwhelmed with school readings and everything, and it's just really hard to find time to read books for fun right now, but I'm really trying to. I really want to try and get to these, especially read at least one of these books during Hispanic Heritage Month, because I feel like it is an obligation to have to read at least one book by a Hispanic author during Hispanic Heritage Month. I really want to get to these. Let me know down below if you guys are going to be participating in Hispanic Heritage Month, if you guys are doing a TBR, what you guys are planning on reading and everything. If you guys have read any of the books that I have kind of on my radar, please let me know what your thoughts and everything are. I would love to know. Thank you guys all again for watching, and I will see you all next time.